What's up, Espinoza? You know fucking music.
What's up, fight fans? It's your man 3K the Boss, aka Mr. Two Hands Up. Fight. You know what it is, man. And once again, we back at it with another banger. Yes, the boss is back, man. So today we're going to change speed a little bit. I'm about to talk about Steven, the Weasel Espinoza, man. He's been making a lot of waves this past week. And I mean, the kid's been making a lot of waves. When I say he's been making a lot of waves, because he's been doing a lot of popping shit in the media. And for all you guys that don't know what popping shit means, that means, you know, showing a little bravado, man. Just acting like, you know, sticking your chest out there, saying you the man out here. But anyway, I'm just gonna go on the fact that basically Steven Espinoza, first he was saying there's too much boxing on TV. Believe that. Too much boxing on TV, like that's bad for the sport. Actually, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's better for the sport. We need more boxing. We need it showcased on more broadcasting networks. We need less pay-per-views, more broadcasted fights, and we need more fights from more upper echelon, top caliber, elite opponents. We need more Keith Thurman, Manny Pacquiao style fights, more Sergey Derevchenko, Triple G style fights, more Naoya the Monster or New Reverse Nonito Donaire style fights. We need more of those. But we don't get them from their side of the street. And as a matter of fact, he's been speaking on honor and integrity in the game. So he started speaking on the fact that, you know, he feels as though Showtime can revitalize their marketing success and just their success in a whole with their boxing network coming next year off of the backs of guys like Jim Lampley, Paulie Malignaggi, and a couple of other well-known punditry experts. Now, before we go into all of the Gervonta Tank Davis stuff that has to do with Steven Espinoza, and you know, he highlighted the fact that, you know, it needs to be more truth to be told in the sport of boxing. Well, why aren't you telling truth in the sport of boxing? Because you definitely told Deontay Wilder's fans a lie about them saying they were going to murder him for trying to extort Dillian White, because he definitely did that, did he not?
You guys imagine for a moment if Deontay said, anybody who fights me has to sign for 3 or 4 fights with Showtime and PBC. All of you would murder him for that.
The fact that you backed him out of a $120 million deal, and he took a $10 million deal for the simple fact that you said, yo, this the team, we got Floyd Mayweather his money.
Are always in my fucking business, worried about what I'm doing. What Floyd is doing, what Floyd ain't doing, what I do got, what I don't got. Just know, I'm gonna stay in my lane, I ain't gonna fuck with nobody, and I don't want nobody fucking with me.
No, Floyd Mayweather's hard work, Floyd Mayweather's opponents, Floyd Mayweather's ability to fight the best, and Floyd's ability to perform got him the type of money he got. 9-figure paydays per fight. Now, Deontay Wilder, you just going to backhand smack him in the face, because I understand it's y'all business to try to keep fighters on the stable and with y'all the relationships you got with Al Heyman. But dig this, man. Come on, bro. Like, y'all stop that man for getting $120 million in 3 fights, and for you to turn around and blast him and Al Heyman pretty much low-key in the media by saying we not going to pick up Wilder versus Ortiz too because the business model don't make any sense. Well, please tell me how the Gamboa versus Gervonta Davis business model makes sense. But I'll digress.
I think one of the things that differentiates Tank, and I think it's really important for the sport, is his charisma. There is a buzz, there's an electricity about his performances.
Yeah, it's not just his boxing talent. That's what I mean when I say move the needle.
Yeah.
Because there's a lot of good up-and-comers who are, 19, 20, and 21, but only a few. The ones that I mentioned, like Garcia, Teofimo Lopez, Devin Haney, they kind of get it. They have a social media presence. They know how to talk to the media. They interact with their fans, and Davis has it. But he's more advanced than that.
Now, y'all really want to know what really grinds my gears? The fact that we're just going to act like KSI versus Logan Paul 2 just didn't take the world by storm and completely sold out the Staples Center, and the fact that Billy Joe Saunders and Devin Haney were on the undercard, both defending their titles, and the fact that he had a successful title defense and Devin Haney had a significant increase in his purse, let's say $1 million check for that fight for being the co-main. So How is Devin Haney not moving the needle? I would have to say he should change his nickname from the dream to a reality, because big shit is popping for the kid. And not to mention, Devin Haney Promotions was on that event. And he just fought 3 times in the past 2.5 months.
Yeah, and it's critical for the long-term growth of the sport. I mean, it's great to have skilled boxers, but we need, for the health of the sport, guys like this who can bring in. Yeah.
Well, we're not quite understanding your path to success, considering that he's certain fighting a guy that's 38 years old, that has 2 losses, that doesn't even clearly have the mystique that he used to have. And you guys are betting that he's going to come out there and, you know, that this fight is going to hoodwink the people and they're going to sell and they're really going to move the needle and this is going to propel Tank to stardom. But it's not going to do that. But Mr. Espinoza, I thought you said you want to be truthful. I thought you said you want to speak honesty to this people. And the only truth that I can speak to is the fact that Tank is a charismatic figure, but you guys aren't doing the same things that Eddie Hearn, I'd say, is doing with guys like Devin Haney.
Is it a challenge to fill an arena just so soon after Christmas?
I mean,
Somebody save me. Somebody save me. Tank Davis over there sweating out Sonic Gravy. Yeah, and he got asked that question. He ain't know how to act. He looked right over Steven Espinoza's help. But you know, what can I say? Clap it up for Deontay Jr.
I mean, there are advantages and disadvantages, but I think this particular day, there's, we obviously feel can be successful given the way it falls. And having that Saturday, Al has had a lot of success with music events on that weekend. Historically, that's a really good, concert going. It's not apples to apples, but it's one of the factors that went in. And there's a way to turn this into something really special and unique.
Do you think you get him out of there maybe earlier than Crawford was able to, and have a superior performance?
I believe that I'm one of the top people that's fighting, got the skills that's fighting on TV. So I'm not comparing myself with other fighters. I just got to go out there and do the job.
But do you think it'll say something about you if you do that?
If it do it do.
If it do, it do. If it don't, it don't. His handshake ain't matching his smile, fam. Look at him. Clearly it bothers him. If you came here to promote your event and you're talking about you're going to be a pay-per-view attraction after you fight a 38-year-old Gamboa, if it do, it do. If it don't, it don't. Nah, bro. Clearly you're going to be bothered by it if the fight doesn't sell out. Clearly the people around you aren't as smart as they truly believe. Sometimes you don't need so-called smart business people around you to make smart decisions, to see every nigga around you is moving dumb, because they're overinflating your value because you truly know what you bringing to the game or not bringing to the game. But real recognize real. I'll digress.
Obviously, had some issues. 30 pounds hasn't been easy for you, of course. How much do you think you'll feel making 35 and how happy are you with 30?
That one time that I did it was like me measuring what I could get like my weight. It wasn't never like it's hard for me and things like that. I didn't have no prep. I was in Vegas just eating. I was eating Sonic. You know Sonic?
Oh, Sonic.
Oh, really?
Yeah, yeah, hot dogs and all that stuff?
Yeah. But I was getting chicken tender and fries with slushies.
No, you can't be drinking slushies,
and then,
man.
the end of the week, I was eating I was just drinking a slushie and don't eat nothing.
No.
And thought I was gonna lose weight. We're going up in 135 just to see, bring my power up there, see if I capitalize on that we can, be a world champion. It's not hard for me to beat him.
Why the fuck you lying? Why you always lying? Oh my God, stop you fucking lying.
In all honesty, let's weigh this out on our scales and let's look at this for what the truth really is here. Tank went up to 135 because all of the action was at 135 and there was no action for him at 130. He wasn't going to take any of those fights at 130 and would have made him look really bad if Lomachenko would have fought the winner of Comey Lopez and he went down to chase Tank at 130 and he boosted himself up to 135. So why not come up to 135 after Lomachenko fights Campbell, considering it wasn't the best outing and considering that Haney just got a WBC belt, and let's pretend like we're going to chase those guys other than chase the clout that they have instead of trying to get in the ring and fight the opponent. But that's just the game that they try to play here. But you know, they will try to exhaust a different narrative. But hey, I will digress once again.
You know, I looked up last night, and you're the mandatory for Devin Haney's title. But
I mean, it's not his title till he. I'm not taking that away from him, but it's not his title till he actually fight for it. I don't care if it could be one of y'all. He fight for it. Once he fight for it, then it's him. You can't just give nobody a title until it's.
I truly think it's funny that you don't consider Devin Haney a champion because you say he didn't fight for the belt and Lomachenko wanted to become franchise champion to run from Devin Haney, but you your whole life been running from Vasily Lomachenko. At least Devin Haney got himself into WBC rankings and contention and became the interim just so he could fight Lomachenko, but you've never tried to make that fight ever happen, so I mean, it's kind of weird for you to not call him a champion.
Authenticity, I mean, it's a word that's thrown around a lot, but there's an authenticity and an openness that, you know, art is open, and it takes a risk to talk about that stuff, and I think that's why people have embraced him, is they can relate. This is not a guy who's posting, pose pictures on Instagram or, this is Tank. What you see is what you get. It's very real, it's very relatable, it's very authentic. And I think that's why people connect with him, the person, as opposed to him, the fighter.
Man, you can't say that no better, Steven. Just this parade last weekend, you see like his people, like from his hood. I mean, you see crackheads, you see everybody in the parade.
All right, fight fans. Now, this section of the interview, this isn't nothing but going to be some fucking ignorant banter from me. But why is Leonard Ellerby highlighting the fact that crackheads were in the parade for welcoming Tank Davis? My whole thing is this. Crackheads aren't buying pay-per-views.
No,
crackheads ain't buying no fights.
No,
crackheads aren't helping you sell no gate. Now, I get what you're saying about the multiple different demographics coming around Tank, but I mean, come on, bro. You're highlighting crackheads like, yes, this man might come from Baltimore, yeah, Murderland, Bodymore Murderland is in the trenches. But at the same time, man, there are a lot of great things about Baltimore. You don't have to highlight just typically the underbelly just because he's African American. Stop that shit.
It was the best feeling ever. I mean, you know what I'm saying? Everybody felt at home. I mean, it was just natural. As the parade was going on, it made me feel so good because I come from a similar background. But, just to see people, his people can reach out and touch you.
Bro, I swear it's just funny to me how they always just try to repackage this individual, reinvent him, and just resell him and remarket him like he's a new thing. Tank is still very young, but yeah, there are young gunners underneath of him that are accomplishing things in simply just as quick fashion, and they're making bigger names on their resume in a quicker time than Tank with over 20 fights under his belt and him being a two-time belt holder. I just don't understand what y'all are trying to do here. If you're trying to sell him off, if you're trying to make sales, man, the only way you're going to do that is by fighting him. The kid has already been a champion. Now it's time for you to focus on his resume. And I was just talking about that on Live Boxing Talk with DT3 on the call-in yesterday, but I'll digress.
He treats everyone the same, no different. You see a crackhead come up to him and, they want to take a picture and, and it's not like he got somebody. Oh no, get away from me. You know, he has.
Leonard, we back on the crackheads, my brother. Come on, man. You got to do your people a better service than this, man. Look, man, crackheads aren't gonna fill the seats, my guy. Like, what is up with you and crackheads in Baltimore right now, man? Like, crackheads don't make the world go round. Like, Baltimore is more synonymous with an opioid epidemic and a heroin epidemic. Come on, bro. Stop it, bro. You on some Detroit 10 Crack Commandments Chamber Brothers kind of talk, man. You look like a Detroit nigga, as a matter of fact, and I think you are. You always on your Cartier Buffy thing.
He has genuine love from his city, and that's why people embrace him everywhere he goes. Everywhere he goes.
It took HBO and Top Rank forever to realize the power of the urban market.
Didn't have a clue.
Yeah.
They didn't have a clue.
But for you guys have immediately seized upon what he means to everyone. And he can, I mean, that can be something that's going to improve Showtime, you think, too, and produce people who are buying tickets.
You know, when people say boxing is a niche, like, I understand where they come from, but boxing is part of a culture that, you know, crosses over to music, sports. You know, there's not an NFL player. I do NFL, inside the NFL every week. You know, I'm one of the, you know, it's been 18 months that Ray Lewis, you know, came in and said, you know, tell me more about this Baltimore kid.
Okay, fight fans, now once again, this is where I come together and this is where I play devil's advocate. As you can see here, the whole purpose of this interview is they're trying to package up Tank Davis and they're trying to sell him to us as a star. And as I was speaking on the articles, and I'm going to go back to the articles, basically what Steven Espinoza is trying to do is he's trying to lend an ear to the boxing world. A very false narrative to the ears of the boxing world of Tank Davis, of promotional outfits, what they are doing, what they are not doing, and how they're doing a disservice to fighters such as Tank Davis because they won't mention him with the upper echelon of the rest of the crop at 135, considering though he hasn't thrown a punch at 135, and the punches that he's going to throw at 135, he's going to throw them at a 38-year-old man, but he's supposed to be the Tank. He's supposed to be the guy that knocks everybody out. But there is no show and prove factor here, ladies and gentlemen. So this is what they're trying to package you up and sell you in the back of a wine cellar. This is why half of the press they're only yes men. You know, there was only one guy to ask the real question, and he asked it about Lomachenko coming down to want to fight him after Teofimo Lopez and Comey, and after they were done with their dance. But Tank even had the audacity to say that the only reason Loma is trying to go down to 130 is because he's getting touched up too much at 135. I find that funny. It is absolutely hilarious. But some things, you know, you just got to take it and you just kind of laugh at it. But this is the reason why the PBC guys suffer. But when, you know, you're speaking in articles and you're talking about, you know, we need more honesty in boxing, you're not being honest to the press about your fighter. That is the biggest problem right there. Why don't you stop doing us a disservice and tell the truth? Speak truthfully about your fighter. Speak truthfully about what's going on in the PBC. And how about you guys don't want to play ball with anybody else? While you guys got your little brother on the swing set, you feel as though everybody else must go over to the slide because nobody else should be on the sand while you're pushing your brother on the swing set. This is, you know what I'm saying, this is a one side of the street kind of party. But I'll digress.
Can you guys imagine for a moment if Deontay said, anybody who fights me has to sign for 3 or 4 fights with Showtime and PBC? All of you would murder him for that.
All right, fight fans, I'm going to close this off by saying this. Not only are they trying to repackage this fighter, reinvent him constantly, time and time again, and they're trying to repackage him, rebrand him, and sell him to him like he's some new fighter. He's a 2-time belt holder. The kid is like, what? I think like, 26 now, something like that? And I mean, he still doesn't have, you know what I mean, a live dog on his resume since Pedraza, and that was on the first belt. You know what I mean? He's constantly overweight. He doesn't take the game serious. So he looks at all of the rising, budding talent at 135, and he's going up there and he's clout chasing. So not only does the PBC clout chase continue, but the uneven balance of the scales continue. The Rubik's Cube that boxing is, that's completely complex and out of whack, is going to continue. But you know, don't believe the hype, man. As we always say before we close this joint out, it costs you nothing to pay a nigga no mind.